There's something special about that first real day of a trip, when the road opens up, the weather's perfect, and you finally feel like the adventure's begun. Today I'm leaving Dijon, heading for the French Alps, and crossing into Italy. And let's just say, it didn't all go smoothly.
Okay, so we're off again. Bike's not super awake this morning. Come on. Yeah, so I realised that the footage from the last 2 days isn't great because the camera angle from my chest that I thought was really clever is rubbish. Worked on the old bike, doesn't work on this bike because this bike's a lot taller, but that's okay. There's only one way to find out these things, and it's by doing it. So today we're heading towards sort of the Annecy area. Could have been bad. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be camping around Annecy today and then crossing over the border into Italy tomorrow, which is fun. The roads coming up this way are pretty great. Hopefully we're going to experience some more of those today. I feel like today is going to be a good day for riding. I feel like there's going to be lots of twisties. I've picked a route that's it's a little bit longer in terms of time, less miles, but I imagine a lot more sort of twisty roads, ascents and descents. Lovely morning though, it's a really nice temperature at the minute. So one thing I have noticed with this bike compared to the Honda, obviously the geometry and everything's a little bit different, so it's taken a little bit of getting used to. Spectacular views this morning.
This was the first day where the trip really started to feel like the adventure that I'd imagined. The sun was out, the roads were smooth, and the views were incredible. It always takes a little bit of time to find your rhythm on a trip, whether that's a quick weekend away or something a bit bigger. When the morning starts like this, it's easy to settle in and just enjoy the ride. Of course, an adventure wouldn't be an adventure if everything went smoothly, and it seemed like all of the fun that I was having on the bike had to be balanced out with a few challenges, again, with the camera gear. The night before, I'd realised that not only had I lost all of my spare DJI batteries, but I'd lost all of the batteries for my DSLR camera as well. Now, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Until my only DJI battery started to overheat mid-ride. Later I found out when that happens, the footage was corrupting, which then meant it became unusable. So this trip had quickly turned into a crash course in improvising with whatever gear that I had left. Still, despite all of those technical headaches, this leg of the journey was absolutely incredible. For anybody who's been watching my XJ900 build series, you'll know that I absolutely love retro bikes, and this one's no exception. What I hadn't anticipated though was how much those older bikes were excluded from certain places in France because of the crit air zones. Many of the big cities are off limits, which isn't usually a problem since I prefer to avoid them anyway, but it does limit your route options a little bit. The upside, it forces you into some amazing back roads that you may have never found otherwise. Yeah, so welcome to tonight's campsite. Tomorrow is my big crossing from France over into Italy. It's going to be my first sort of like mountain crossing on this, which I'm really excited for. But I don't think the weather's going to be particularly good tomorrow. So the plan for tonight is to pack everything up so that in the morning I can just leave. So I'm going to get showered, make sure everything's just ready to go in the morning. Because I think that there's thunderstorms predicted for about 3 o'clock, and I want to try and get across the mountains as far in advance of those as I can. So the trip so far has been a little bit weird in that I've having to cross like huge distances to get to a wedding, basically, in Como, and I hadn't anticipated how far away that was going to be. I know, a bit daft, but so I feel like I haven't been able to enjoy myself as much as I possibly could have if I'd just had a little bit more time. But I've got an extra week after this wedding, so I can sort of take my time getting back, and hopefully, I feel like I haven't really been experiencing much of France at the moment. I've just been sort of like going from place to place, which has still been really fun. Today actually was some of the most exciting sort of riding that I've done for a while. It wasn't like particularly technical or anything, it's just the roads were really nice, and I feel like I'm starting to like get to grips with the bike a little bit more. Anyway, that's it for now. So today was the border crossing into Italy. The first stretch through the Alps was filled with twisty roads and hairpin bends. I'd only owned this bike for about a week, so I was a little bit nervous at first, but those feelings disappeared quite fast. Before long, I was completely in the zone, carving through those turns and soaking up the stunning alpine views. So I've just made it to the Italian border. Some of that riding today, I've only been on the road for like an hour, but that was amazing coming up there. Just really, really enjoyed it. I was kind of full of anxiety this morning. I'm not really sure why, maybe just the weather. And then there was, the bike took a little bit longer to start, something flew in my eye. And for some reason I just felt quite nervous this morning, but then I don't know, just getting on the bike and riding and stuff, it's just sort of calmed me down, maybe because there was something to focus on, because the the roads were a bit, you know, more, not challenging, but you just had to make sure that you weren't going to fly off the end of them. But yeah, what a day so far. About to cross over into Italy now, and then, yeah, on to Como. Let's do it. After a quick stop at the Col de Petit Saint Bernard, I crossed over into Italy, and looking back, I wish I'd stayed a little bit longer to take in the scenery, but if I'm honest, it was a bit chilly up there, and I was a bit paranoid that the weather was about to turn. So I pressed on, down through long tunnels, and onto a motorway towards Como, where I finally arrived in every biker's favourite weather, thunderstorms. And that was it. 4 straight days of rain. So that's where I'm going to leave it for this episode, from Dijon to Como, through the Alps and into a thunderstorm. If you've been enjoying the series so far, subscribe to the channel and come along for the next leg, where things are going to get a little bit more interesting. So I've just had my first little crash. Annoyingly, that won't turn on. Yeah, I'll let you know how I get on in a bit.